spinning wheel of... All right, something's going on here. Trying this again. Okay. Had to reload the page and reload the page and reload the page, but here we are. All right. How y'all doing? Good morning. Grand risings. How's everybody doing today? All right. So jumping in so I don't get angry Karens yelling at me. So here's your news. There is no news. Okay, now we'll get that covered. But yeah, seriously, there's nothing new. That doesn't mean there's anything bad. Just as all that means is there's nothing new. So for sake of honoring people's time, and if you're jumping on here for the news, there's news, but there's nothing new and no confirmations on HCL yet. Nothing on a new rate. So for sake of people's time, nothing new on the front. So other than that, there is articles, and let me jump over here to it. Gotta love technology. Had it up. Twitter decided to reload, and now it's gone. But there was an article from the Al Rafadain Bank reporting over 3 trillion dinar e-payment settlements for government institutions. So what does that mean? That means the future is digital, blockchain technology, crypto. Cross-border payments are going to be blockchain technology, QFS, ISO 222. The future of banking is going to be 99% digital. It makes sense. It's scary because we never want to lose the ability to have cash. Yes, they can see if I take $3,000 out of my bank, they know I took it out. They don't know what I did with it, but they know I took it out. So, but just to have the ability to take cash out of your bank is so important to freedom. Once we lose that freedom, man, other than bartering and trading, you're kind of screwed. Good morning, Vanessa. But yeah, I mean, it's just nothing new. I wasn't really sure what to expect this morning. Getting online and digging, I was hoping to have official confirmation on HCL and the rate and all that stuff, but I buy lottery tickets wishing I'd get $1 million, but here we are. Morning, Alan. Oh yeah, I need to move this chat box so it looks like I'm looking at the camera. Stand by. All right, there it is. Good morning, Brian. So yeah, there's tons of articles out there, and some of them I've seen yesterday, so they're rehashed, but there's not been a ton of new articles from CBI and Iraq official channels. I don't know. I think we're close. I forced myself to watch Frank. And no disrespect to Frank, it's just he's hard to watch. It's funny that like the way my brain is wired, I can watch Militiaman entirely, But Frank is like, whew, man, I don't know if I get like bewildered by his suits. I don't know what it is, but so I try to jump around and find what I need to find and move on. But he's very adamant that HCL's done, and you know, and his frankness, he is he believes we're just moments away from knowing the rate. So we'll see. I mean, we've been hearing. If you've been in the same amount of time, you've been hearing this song and dance for a long time. The only difference is there's there's a lot more meat and potatoes in the nothing burger stew. So hopefully that means that we're actually going to see the culmination of this thing. And it's like Frank does not believe in the GCR, global currency reset, RV, global RV, whatever you want to call it, the 209 nations in the first basket. He says that it's mathematically impossible. And I can see where he's coming from. If there wasn't Nassar and Gassara and just the the global reset, basically. But if you look at it from a practical standpoint, I get where he's coming from. So just got to take Frank with a giant lump of salt. But that's why I keep my focus on Iraq, because what happens in Iraq is going to kick off the rest of it. Whether you believe in the whole thing or not, I don't know, and that's your personal opinion. My personal opinion. I'm keeping my eyes on Iraq because that's the only trackable marker. I mean, there's clues from other nations, but you would have to be like Sherlock Holmes to find real information on that. Iraq is at least out there, and if you know the sources, you can at least track it. So that's what I focus on. Morning, Eric. Matt, let's get this bread rocket. Okay, let's get this thing going. How's everybody doing this morning? We're just going to chat for a little bit because there's not a whole lot to talk about as far as Dinar news, unfortunately. So what do you guys got? What do you want to talk about? Should we stir the pot with fabled RV spiritual cows? I grew up in a small rural area, and my church pastor, he was a down home guy, and he'd talk about going around kicking over spiritual cows. I don't know if anybody can relate to that term, but it's a long-standing ideas that are sacred. So do we want to go around and kick them over and stir the pot? It's up to you guys. Morning, Amber. I think everybody has a little antagonistic personality traits in them. Mr. C seems to be a sacred staple. Captain, that means the fiscal year end. Maggie, I do not. If you go to Frank's last video, and I think towards the end, the last maybe 30 minutes, you can kind of skim around. He briefly talks about someone asked him that question. I want to say 16%, but I really wasn't paying attention when my ear caught that, so I don't quote me on that. Australia, man, we are getting around the globe, around the world, around the planet. Are you flat earther or are you globe? Whatever history we've been taught is a lie, so I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. My opinion on taxes, and strictly my personal opinion, like I said, I am not a financial advisor, and this is for entertainment purposes, so don't hold me to it. But my personal opinion, I don't think we're going to have to pay taxes on the currency exchange. But you should be prepared in case you do. And here's the thing, guys. If you have $1 million dinar and it goes for whatever the number is, you just sacrifice a piece of that pie for taxes and you move on. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not like you have to go to your checking account and write them a check and then you're out of money. You're getting money and you just deduct whatever for taxes and you walk away with the balance. Mark has, yes, there are articles out there and I have them in my billions, quadrillion bookmarks. I have it somewhere. But there have also been revisions or new articles out there talking about taxes on dinar. And I don't know if that's like a deep state Hail Mary last minute thing. But on one of his videos in the last year, he brought up both and basically same thing. He doesn't think so, but you should be prepared. So South Africa, wow. Good morning, Wayne, or afternoon there, I guess. It is 6 a.m. Central Time in the United States. Captain, I agree. There's a lot of caveats. There's a lot of loopholes. And it all depends. Subs from Indonesia. Man, we're international. Who knew? But yeah, there are so many possibilities and caveats to this whole thing. Is 2020 going to be overturned? Trump reinstated it, hand over to the military, the whole Nassar thing kicks in. They do new votes. They, arrest who needs to be arrested. There's so many things that can happen with all this. I am not worried about tax. I'm not worried about IRS because my conspiracy thought is the IRS has already been absorbed by Treasury, and yeah, we're still doing the whole dog and pony show of paying taxes and all that stuff. But once Nassar is enacted in public, so XE has IQD hanging at 1301 on the chart as we speak. That's interesting, Brian. Morning, Andrew. Andrew, did you say yesterday that you are in Iraq? It seems like I remember that. But it could have been pre or post coffee. Hmm. Okay, good to know. Okay, gotcha. I okay, and you translate it. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's next month. MT. No, Amber, I'm not. I did not serve. I went. I was. My dad was a Marine, Paris Island, Vietnam era Marine Corps. So if you know, if you know, you know. They were the crazy of the crazies. So I was that was just drilled into me from my birth, that lifestyle and all that. I went through the process of enlisting. I was going to go into the army, uh, into the ranger contract, and before I was going to go to MEPS and all that stuff, I was in a car wreck and I messed up my neck, so I was disqualified. So it's one of the biggest disappointments in my life that I didn't get to serve. So, but it's like I said, it's in my DNA. So I get that. I at least once a week, people at grocery stores or whatever, they'll either ask me, "Am I a cop or a Marine?" So I don't know. Lisa, yes, I trust me. I poke at Frank a lot, and he's kind of hard not to poke fun at. But I give him like so much respect for him because he's been in this for so long, and I don't know that anyone knows the Dinar inside and out the way he does. He's mad props to him. He's the OG when it comes to understanding the Dinar. Thank you, Amber. Oh yeah, I have like this internal 3 a.m. alarm clock, and it just boom, my eyes open and I gotta get up. Land lover, your thoughts on what the IQD rate might be? So the way, let me preface all this with there's already a rate, um, because these contracts that are doing with other nations, Turkey and all this for water, there's a rate out there. Um, we just don't know it yet. So they are putting in front of our faces the delete the zeros deal, um, and freshly. So almost every day they're talking about it. So that's going to be the first step in revealing the rate, and then so there's a couple possibilities. They will reinstate the pre-war rate of 322. They'll reinstate that rate plus adjustments for the increase in oil revenue, other non-oil revenue resources that they have, which are enormous. I think that you would see that come in between 322, 350, or they can just go straight to the rear, and that's really the mystery because they let's just get this out there. They could support a huge number on the rate, double digits, 11, 20, I don't know where. The main thing that you have to keep in mind is a rate that will benefit Iraq and not make them so expensive that they can't be, it wouldn't make sense for other nations to do business with them. And if you take the 30,000 view of Iraq, what are they doing? They're all about networking with other nations, the Development Road Project. So they're like becoming the hub of the Middle East and the world as far as trade and tourism and all this stuff. So they don't want to price themselves out of a job. So I think my opinion, I think you're going to see it somewhere around $4. I think anything over that, while they could support it all day long, I don't think it would be beneficial to them. So they're going to do what's best for Iraq, and being tradable with other nations is what's best for Iraq. So I think while they could support a huge rate, I think it's going to be around $4. But that's my opinion. Andrea, Vancouver Island. Jay, welcome. Captain, I don't know, and that was really what I was waking up digging around for this morning, is to find something on that. It doesn't mean that they're not active, but it just means that the information hasn't got to us yet. Andrew, I agree. Good morning, morning. Maggie, you're welcome. Okay, Andrew. Yeah, please, if you do you find anything, let me know. Yeah, Wayne, I think most of us. Subs, that sub said, let me know. You guys are. I hope everyone's seeing the chat replay when they're watching this back. But Sub says, "Are we waiting for Saddam to get back to Iraq before they announce the rate?" That makes sense to me. Um, that man has well, not single-handedly, but he has definitely spearheaded this whole RVRI process. I mean, he has put the wheels on the car for this thing. So I would definitely think he would want to be in his own nation when it's announced, because you have to remember, this is Sudani is doing this for his people, and everyone else is in the back seat, but they're along for the ride. Jay Frank is very, very animated. You'll Number one, I don't have a singing voice. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, so you'll never hear me sing, and I don't own a suit. So, two things you'll never see me do. Yes, Andrew. They made those the lower denominations and coins. I believe it was 2018. They spent, and I'm digging this memory out of my head, and I think it was like 5 million. I'll have to go find it, but they spent like 5 million ish, somewhere in that ballpark. They spent millions of dollars making cut sheets and coins for the lower denominations. That was 2018. Yeah. So they're out there and they're just waiting to be released. Okay. Yeah. 5 million. That's what I thought. But I, it feels, man, it feels like it's right there, you know, right at our fingertips. So I'm excited. What else you guys got? We're at 25 minutes, so I don't want to keep everybody here just to hear me talk. So if you want to wrap it up, we'll wrap it up at about another 5 minutes or so. Okay, thanks, Andrew. Yeah, I like I said, I got online a little after 3 and been digging, and I can't find anything substantially new. Usually, Majid and those guys on Twitter are, excuse me, let me drag this window over here, are on it early, but I don't think there's anything. No, nothing new so far. And I lost my chat box. Jay, yes, that makes sense. I believe Kuwait's at 360. But yeah, I think 364, maybe a little over 4, but you just have to, we have to remember what's going to make the most sense for Iraq and, their trade. Excuse me, I'm still fighting the crud, so. Subs, I would think that today he would be back. As far as I knew, he was done as of yesterday. So, yeah, Michael, I would definitely, if anything happens substantial, I'll get on here and do a quick video update. I appreciate your guys' time. And I know mornings are crazy, so thank you for joining. No, I don't go to doctors or healers or anything. I rub dirt in it and keep going. You're welcome, Amber. Yeah, they are, Andrew. They are definitely keeping the inflation down. Yeah, no, I didn't mean any disrespect. Breakaways, healers, holistic. Now, in Florida, I did have a doctor that I did my yearly checkup thing with, and he was a holistic doctor. So his approach was holistic first. He was an older guy and didn't really write prescriptions for everything. But I only went there for my annual checkup thing. But with everything that I just have a huge distrust of anything medical. Andrew, are you meaning with the articles and stuff? Captain, I'm not sure. It would seem that anything logically, so if it would make sense to be revealed on, um, the end of their work week, if that would make sense, it would seem like they would do it on a day that doesn't make sense, so that it kind of keeps everybody on their toes. Yeah, nutrition is important. Yeah, the most important thing. Oh yeah, the cash auctions. Yeah, I agree. All right, guys, we are at the 30 minute mark. So um, let me know, is this time frame is 6 a.m. Central when I get online. So is that working out for everybody? Yeah, Andrew, that makes sense. All right, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all being here, and I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your time, all the time that you spend making comments. I really do appreciate it, and it helps me kind of keep this thing focused on where it needs to go. And if you have anything that you want me to talk about or address in the video, my voice is about done. Um, let me know, and and then like always, anything big happens, I'll jump on and do an update. But that's it for this morning. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. See you.